On the Jets, they did the deed.
Yep.
They fired Robert Saleh, who's the head coach of the Jets. No more. They escorted him out with security, which is, if you've been in this business or whatever, this is not new. I know TV anchors who have been given a box, you know this,
yep.
and said, you got 30 minutes to get your stuff together, and we'll walk out.
It isn't always especially if it's not end of season or some celebratory. You've been here for 20 years. When it's just business, we need you up out of here.
And they're not playing.
Man, they don't care. It's a lot of industries. My wife is in the pharma sales world. They come, hey, we're taking the car. You know, you get company cars. You look out, beep, 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 backing out. Like, hey, y'all, what the world is going on?
There was a PR guy a long time with the Pistons. And the same thing, the time came they were going to fire him. So he had a company car, all that. They called him a cab, took the car.
It can be brutal.
Took his stuff out of the car, put it in plastic bags, threw it in the cab, and was like, we're taking the car, whatever. Not go clean it out, wash it, bring it back. But no.
Not a day to
Keys,
dap up everybody.
Phone, nothing. They don't. This is. So I'm just saying, when people go, oh, the
security was called, yeah.
This is how people do business. All right. But I'm going to stand up.
Okay. All right.
Stand up, and I'm going to applaud the Jets.
Oh, okay. Let me hear why before I join in on that.
Because I think I'm going to feel differently. They are a terrible franchise and have made mistake after mistake after mistake. This wasn't a mistake.
Okay.
And my point is, the season is in grasp, in reach. The season ain't over. I told you before. 2 and 3. If they beat Buffalo, I think they play Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Buffalo, they'll be in first place. So you don't want to chuck the season. You don't want to say we'll give them to the end of the year. No, we've seen enough after 3 years and the bad record. They can't run the ball, false starts, all the other stuff. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played great, but there's other things, problems on the team as well. And I'm saying, if you're ever going to make the move, Kelvin, it's now. The season, the division is up for grabs. Miami doesn't have a quarterback. They're out of it. The Patriots are going to start a rookie quarterback. They're making that move because they have no traction. They can't do anything. They can't score. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So those two teams are out of the mix. You only have one team in front of you. And Buffalo started out as a house on fire, and now they've lost their last two. The division is there. You got a 40-year-old quarterback. You got to try to do whatever you can to make this happen. For once, the Jets got it right. How much longer do you need to look and say, well, we don't want to give the guy a chance. We want to keep all of that. It has been bad. I never thought he was a head coach, Saleh. I didn't. I did not.
He doesn't reek of Andy Reid, of Bill Belichick, of Mike Tomlin, and so on and so forth. I understand that. But let me bring you back down a little bit. I'm glad you sitting down, you and your little Arnold Palmer. Here's where I challenge you. I'm not going to sit up here and be a public defender for Robert Saleh. That's not what I'm going to do. However, I am going to say this is what happens when you go all in like we've talked about. And they're all in on the Aaron Rodgers experiment, so they have to do things that they normally wouldn't do. They normally don't fire coaches in middle of a season. They don't normally do that. They've never done that, at least under this ownership. You know what they just did? They fired him. Adam Gase, you know what he didn't do? Get fired middle of the season or in the middle of a season. Now, Robert Saleh definitely wasn't the solution, but he also wasn't the problem.
Oh, I could not disagree with you more.
Here's why, though. The one stability on this team was their defense. It was either great for a couple of seasons, including last season and the season before that, or this season, it's been what's kept them in games. Because it surely wasn't Nathaniel Hackett and his offense, and it sure ain't been the 40-year-old former MVP. Because when I'm looking at the offense, it's 23rd in first downs, 27th in scoring, and 27th in total yards. So when he's getting ready to, rumors have it, the reports are he was going to let Nathaniel Hackett go. Then the owner had a conversation with him, and then obviously with Aaron Rodgers, which he said Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with it. Now Nathaniel Hackett has a job, and Saleh doesn't. But I'm just saying that's the one constant, was that their defense kept them in games. Their defense was the thing that had them giving a chance to win. The offense surely wasn't it. So the one guy who has been doing his job pretty well is the guy that's let go. That shows me, hey, whatever Aaron Rodgers needs to succeed, that's what they're going to do. And I'm not saying that's the worst thing in the sense of you've already made your bed, you got to lay in it with him, but that's how I view this. They are all in, fully all in on the Aaron Rodgers experiment, including not letting Nathaniel Hackett go and instead letting Robert Saleh go, which to me, all right, good luck.
Here's why your argument holds no weight. Zero
It holds
weight.
a lot of weight.
No weight.
It holds early 80s Oprah weight.
Because since 2022, the Jets have had the worst offense in the NFL by a mile, way before Aaron Rodgers ever got there. They're 32nd in points, 32nd in touchdowns per game, 30 seconds in turnovers, 30 seconds in EPA, and 31st in yards per game.
You're saying this is pre-Rodgers?
Yes.
Then you're proving my point.
This is pre-Rodgers.
The offense ain't working.
No.
Why does that have to do with the defense?
Because he's a head coach. This is before Hackett got there. This is before Aaron Rodgers got there. This is a longer thing that this has not been.
So I bring in Aaron Rodgers, who you believe is the almost greatest of all time. I give him everything he wants. Offensive coordinator, former players. And the issue is the defensive side of the ball that's been either good to great. Help me understand what you're saying.
That nothing has changed. That's the problem, that he's in charge and nothing has changed since he got there. And my point is that you have to, at some point, decide to make a change. You can't continue to do the same thing. And he's the one. He's not the defensive coordinator anymore. That's his specialty.
Yes.
Okay, but he's not the defensive coordinator. He's the head coach. And if we're going to give him credit when they win 11 games, right, even though you have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, the head coach would get credit for the 11 or 12 wins. I'm going to give them the blame when they don't win. And that don't work like that.
And you know what? You can give him can give him the blame because you're forced to give him the blame because you have no choice. But we all know what the issue is. I just told you, Robert Saleh ain't the solution. I ain't going to sit over here and act like, don't let him go, he's the man. I'm just saying Aaron Rodgers got you acting all kind of different.
No, it's not.
Not you. I'm talking about the ownership. I never let a coach go. Adam Gase was terrible. Adam Gase kept a job the whole season.
The ownership said, we have weapons. Are you kidding me? This has to be fixed.
On what side of the ball?
On the offensive side of the ball, okay? We have weapons.
Who's calling the plays?
They can't even run the ball.
Who's calling the plays?
They were supposedly fixing the offensive line. Did you see this game Sunday? They were all over Aaron Rodgers. You can't do it.
3 interceptions.
He did.
And listen, they made their bet where they had no choice. You can't let Aaron Rodgers go at this point. You can't. It's not like that's not even a possibility. So all I'm saying is,
2-3. It ain't about letting Aaron Rodgers. You're 2-3, and then you're one game behind the division.
You're 2-3.
You're trying to fix what's wrong, and it ain't the players. You got to get somebody else in there. And Robert Saleh, you can sit there all you want. Dude, ain't nobody hiring him. Ain't nobody running to hire him as a head coach.
Well, no, they're hiring him as a defensive coach, and that's his specialty.
He may never get another opportunity after you see what they've done over the last 2022.
You've been in this game long enough to know that is necessarily the case. But again, I'm not about to sit up here and argue with you that Robert Saleh is, again, the next great head coach. All I'm simply saying is this is an example of the fall guy. Somebody got to be the fall guy in this situation, and it was him. And I've been telling y'all for 2 weeks now, the Aaron Rodgers experiment, they put all the chips on him, and these are the types of moves and results you have to do when you've gone all in with Aaron Rodgers. We knew this was coming.
We'll talk
we
more
thought
about
it would be
the
at the
Aaron
end of the
Rodgers
season.
part about this and then later on in the hour number 2. But Darren in Montana, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Darren?
What's up, D?
Hey, it's nice to talk to you guys again. I haven't called you guys when Kelvin Washington was there. And so
Kelvin Washington.
But here's the first thing. Kelvin Washington, K-Dub, okay, whatever. But I like Rob Parker and Vin Wash. So washed up guys, this, that, and the other. Saleh's washed out. He's done, and honestly, I think it's the best thing that can happen for the Jets. Don't really care for him, but don't know who they're going to get. But at the same time, there is going to be a juice in them once he's gone, and that whole team is going to be like the Raiders last year. Or, you know what I mean? And getting him and Pierce in there, and like, dude, I don't see him doing anything super special. They need a lot of help on the O-line.
Right.
But
they need help, but they're still in it, is the big thing.
That's
it's
true.
not like they're 0-5 and the season's over, and then you can look and say, well, why are you doing it now? Thanks for the call, Darren. Appreciate it. Let's go to Eric in New Hampshire. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Eric?
Hi, guys. Real quick, I'm pretty sure Saleh is more of a defensive-minded guy, and the defense was doing pretty well. And they promoted the defensive coordinator to the coach. So it still leaves me to question what in the offense is going to change because Rodgers is still Rodgers. A couple of weeks ago, he had a towel over his face. Last week, he threw a pick six. And
you mean when the kicker missed the field goal and they lost to Denver?
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just remember 3 interceptions.
On national TV with a towel over his face, pouting. Last week pouting, and then this week.
What has Robert Saleh done in his 3 years before this, before Aaron Rodgers showed up, or is that makes you feel like he's the right coach and he got screwed? Because you could have to show me something that they did. All right. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
It ain't about what he ain't the solution per se, and I knew this move had to happen. My only thing is A, the timing in which they happened, and it shows that they've doing something they never do. They've never done this. And then B, again, this is what happens when you're all in. I'm not even mad. You have to act like this when you've decided to be all in with something.
They haven't won a Super Bowl since 1969.
Yeah.
So what do you? I mean, like, if it's not now, and you're not going to try to salvage a season with a Hall of Fame quarterback and try to make it work, what is the point?
Honestly, this is we can get back to the cause. My only thing is you keep saying that, and I totally understand that. Seriously, especially as a Lions fan, you know that. But man, that offense is what you were like. Whoo! We already know what the defense is. Now that we got Aaron Rodgers, we about to lie. No, you're not lighting up. You're literally the bottom of the entire NFL in all offensive stats. So that's the thing that I think for some people is like, well, that wasn't the issue. The defense wasn't the issue.
Caesar in Texas, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Cal?
What's up,
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I agree with you, Rob. I got tired all day hearing all the talking heads defend him because of his defense. And this is all I want to say. Bill Belichick, one of the greatest defensive coaches ever. You know why he's at home right now? Because all he can do is coach good defense. You gotta be. If you want to continue to be a head coach, you gotta have offense on your resume.
And you know what? That's a great point because as soon as they couldn't score in New England, they were ready to move Bill Belichick out of there too. And that's the other issue. And you would say, well, Bill's not the offensive coordinator. Well, you're the head coach, and you're going to get credit for the wins, and you're going to get the blame. And he's 100% right because when Tom Brady was there and their offense was good, Bill Belichick wasn't going anywhere. Last year, remember, they couldn't score. And they wound up putting him out. 877-9905.
The reason why that's also not quite fair is because Bill Belichick was trying to have control over everything. Rob Saleh said, all right, you want it your way? Y'all control the offense. You do what you want. You want Nathaniel Hackett? You got him. You want to call all the plays, Aaron Rodgers? Do that. So it was almost like I'm conceding y'all. Do what you want to do, but then it falls on me when I gave you the full
You're
reins.
the boss. You're the head coach. So you just can't turn everything over. That's
Listen,
what you
Robert Saleh was going at the end of the
season
regardless. I'm not even going to sit up here and act like he wasn't.
If they won the division and they won a playoff game, I don't know if that was foregone conclusion. Mike in Washington, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mike?
Great job.
What'd you say? Say it again, Mike.
I said you guys love the show. You guys are doing a great job.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the way I look at the New York Jets, it's like they're the NFL's land of misfit toys.
That's for sure.
You got Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. He's the train with the square wheels. And this is a prime example when teams allow a player to come on board and dictate who going through it now with LeBron. And he brought all his fellas on, and he brought his offensive coordinator, and it hasn't worked. And it starts from the top. I've watched, I'm 54 years old, and every owner I've ever seen has always been very composed, put together. The first time I ever seen Woody Johnson was last year on the beginning of the first season where Aaron Rodgers got hurt. The dude showed up in a dress shirt and a giant blinged out medallion.
I remember that, right, on the opener. I remember that. I like
first thing I thought was like, is this about the team or is it about Woody?
No.
That says a lot about the culture there.
Right. The culture's bad, and I said that from Jump Street, but there's just no life preserver to save Robert Saleh. He just hasn't done enough to warrant it. You're off to a bad start. This is not the start that the people expected. And once you do that, people are going to move on from you.
And once I go all in with Aaron Rodgers and the whole Aaron Rodgers experiment, this is where they are. I hope it works for them. Don't get it twisted. I hope this works out, but that's where they are now.
You might look back and remember this moment here where you said this, and you'll look back and say, unbelievable, the season turned around and they won the division. I'm going to sit here right now. The defense and the players on that offense are good enough so that they could beat the Buffalo Bills and they could win the division. I'm telling you, with the right guy at the top. And I believe
so. The interim guy who was right behind Saleh, who's a Saleh guy, is the right guy.
I'm just saying.
Okay, that don't make the math ain't mathing.
How? Anybody but Saleh. You ever hear that?
But he's literally my guy who plays my side of the ball.
Everybody's not a head coach. Everybody's not a head coach.
So this interim coach is? Man, stop it.
All I know is I don't know if he is or isn't, but I know Robert Saleh isn't.
And you know what else you know?
How about that?
Nathaniel Hackett ain't either. That's what I know. Hackett can't hack it.